Hello, my friends. Since I was a teenager, I dreamed of being a singer. I sang Autumn Leaves in duet with my sister Martine, or jazz stand in scat, kind of onomatopoeias, in the manner of Ella Fitzgerald. Then I went to the Polydor Record Studio, where I was offered songs that I did not like, and I gave up the song to devote myself to my studies. When I found out that the musical Hair was being staged, I rushed to audition where I had every chance because we were hiring inexperienced young singers. But destiny wouldn't let me happen because for the only time in my life I had a voice extension I could not even speak. I had seen Sandy again, and our relationship had become purely friendly, with no ulterior motive. She had moved in with Gabriel, a great intellectual who had written a dictionary of philosophy. He lived in a very dark apartment filled with books on Saint Benoit Street, right next to the Café of the Flore, the maker of writers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir. I went to meet them quite often as neighbor, and I met well-known personalities from the artistic world who came to see Gabriel not only out of friendship, but because he sold them different kinds of drugs. He used opium and injected it into himself, which made him sexually impotent, which Sandy seemed to enjoy. He died a few months later at the age of 43, looking like a poorly preserved old man. After his death, Sandy got together with Paul, an African American jazz drummer, a bit crazy but very nice. I dated them for a while. Then she went back to the US and I never heard from her again. All the people who had known her were so impressed by it that years later they were still talking to me about her. I recently saw Sandy again in a Dauphinese film in which she appeared as a bride. So she had managed to get married in France, but not to me, and only for the cinema. Sandy introduced me to several of her African American artist friends, and in particular Tony Clark, a very good dancer who played in Hair. Every once in a while, I would go to him before the show and he would let me in for free. I saw this show in small pieces about 50 times. I soak up the atmosphere of the musical by growing my hair and wearing colorful clothes with even bells on the bottom of multicolored strips Mexican pants. All over the world, there has been a wave of change brought about by this musical. Thanks to this prodigious success, it has brought a wind of freedom in many countries more or less dictatorial or simply frozen. We can say that there was before Hair and after. It was especially noticeable in the changing fashion of clothing and the length of boy hair. Whenever I felt a little depressed, which was quite common at that time, I would jump on my little White Suzuki motorcycle and rush to Port Saint-Martin. Coincidence or sin? A few years later, I came to settle down Landcrease Street, close to the theater that had held such a big place in my life. I love to wander backstage. I dreamed of being part of the troupe as a singer. I saw myself quite well in the lead role. That's all. Especially since it was held at the time by Julien Clerc. I didn't give up on my dream, and much later I prepared for other auditions. I charmed my neighbors from morning to night. Well, almost. I was forced to make a crucial choice, singing or smoking. I really couldn't do both at the same time. So I took advantage of having a strong enough motivation after 100 of unsuccessful attempts to quit smoking for good. It was even so definitive that I became allergic to the tobacco that had captivated me so much. I can't stand it at all, even the smell. So, till July 13, 1970, is the great day for which I have prepared myself so much. I wait feverishly for my turn to go backstage. I enter the stage. It seems immense to me. Stage fright is there. I feel stuck, blocked, in pain in front of the black hole in the room. I am split up, one lucid, who observe and harshly criticize my performance, and the other who pitifully tries to sing his ditty. When I'm finished, the producer calls me into the room next to him. I sit down. Bertrand Castelli asks me about my usual occupation. He tells me that I have a pretty voice and that I don't sing too badly, but advises me very kindly and with great care to continue my studies as an architect. I finally understood that whatever my qualities as a singer may be, it was not my way to give voice in this way. When the songs from Connections appeared, I knew I had found my way. What I had always carried inside me was finally revealed. But that's another story.